Hi everybody, Wednesday afternoon. This is Connie and I am live and I'm excited about what I'm going to show you today. Let's see. First of all, I want to say I've been getting some messages from people asking if this is club ordering month, and club ordering months are always on the odd months. January, February, March, May, July, September, November. And that is because when we land in December, it is crazy. Everybody's busy. Nobody has time to order. Nobody has time to think about Close to My Heart. Nobody has the money for Close to My Heart. December is nuts for all of us. So I try to make it land in November so that you could get your order in before all the crazy starts happening for the holidays if you want. And that is why I do it that way. If you have already ordered this month thinking that it was a club ordering month, please don't sweat it. Don't feel like you have to buy another thing next month. I am not like that. You know, this is fun. This isn't supposed to be like a chore. So just message me with your plan. Hey, I want to count this month as next month. Whatever, I get it. Okay. Today, though, I want to show you a hidden gem in the core catalog. This is the core. There's so many things in the core catalog that are so cool that it is really easy to overlook some of the things in here that I think are really special and cool. You might even not ever even look twice. So I today want to show you this set, not the ice cream. The ice cream is one of those flashy sets. See, there's a flashy set that you're like, ooh, that's interesting, next to this set. And this set you're like, may not have even noticed. So this is called Floral Sentiments, and look how many stamps there are. There's 32 stamps in this set, and it makes some very cool cards. One thing I really like about these solid stamp sets is that, you know, there's no coloring. I mean, you can just use all of your stash of inks that you have. And if you don't have a stash of inks, I've already decided to make my September special. If you buy 3 inks, you'll get 1 free from me. And because I know that there are some of you out there collecting the inks or needing a few colors, and today I'm going to show you a lot of the different colors because this stamp set is really fun to use with a lot of different colors. Now, if you already own a different brand of ink, you do not need to buy Close to My Heart ink as well. What you do need is dye-based inks, because pigment-based inks are wet and they're not as much fun to use when you're in a hurry, especially. There are some very cool things you can do with pigment inks, but for a set like this, dye-based inks where they dry really quick is what you want. Okay, so this is a set we're going to use. Let me show you. Here is the stamp carrier sheet, and it's got some messages on it, and they're a little different than some of the others. It's not like just your standard happy birthday kind of thing. To the happy couple, because it makes great wedding cards. Sending love and sympathy, because it makes great sympathy cards. Thinking of you, congrats newlyweds, praying for you, sorry for your loss, and congratulations, best wishes. So these are, you know, kind of in that wedding sympathy theme, but I've been using the thinking of you a lot and congratulations a lot. I want to show you a trick if you want to use a different message, I mean, I have a lot of different things to show you today for messages, but I just want to show you a trick. Oh, Jen, you get him. Oh my gosh. Someone's at the door. Oh my goodness. Every time someone comes to the door, my dog goes ballistic because he wants them to come to the door, but he sounds like he's going to eat them. It's crazy. Hi, Kelly. Okay, so my trick is, okay, if you were going to stamp this stamp, you would just put it on a block and you would ink it up and stamp it. Let me grab just an ink pad that I have over here and show you. I'll ink it up and I'll stamp it, right? And then that could be the front of our card. Now, if you wanted to though, you can take your stamp and flip it over upside down. It's upside down. And I'm using the back of the stamp. And notice I'm inking that up. And if I push on that, it makes just a solid image, a solid circle. So what I could do then is use any of my other messages to stamp on top of it. I just think that's a cool thing. So let's say I wanted the best wishes. You know, I could stamp that in a darker color or something like that. So if you only have certain messages, or you want to write something in there or do something different with your messages, you don't have to use the message that comes with this set. Okay? That's my tip of the day for that. But I love the flowers. So I want to show you a few cards that I've made using this. So for example, and I'm going to show you, the big flower is done in periwinkle, and then this little section right here is done in sapphire, and then this little section right here is done again in periwinkle. So this and this is the same stamp, but it looks different. And then they give you several leaves, one facing left, one facing right, and you'll notice there's skinny leaves and there's fat leaves and then there's rounded leaves. So you have 3 sets of larger sized leaves, and so that was done here. These are the new paperboard shapes that look like wood. Hi, Heather. Hey, while I'm at it, I want to say hi to Tanya. I know Tanya will watch this on the replay, and today is her birthday. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that that's a very simple card. This is just cardstock, front, back, front, back, front, back in 3 different colors, and then could use your scraps. And this is just like I think it's like 1.5 by 5 inch. Okay, this one is just a bunch of triangles stacked on each other with a square, and I drew around it with a marker because, you know, I like to do that. There's that thinking of you, and then I just stamped a little bit of, you know, this image on one of the triangles. Super easy. This is this flower right here, and this is the new colors of the this year. So that's honey butter. There's like Seabrook, Mist, honey butter, melon, periwinkle. Nice, right? Okay. So here is that tip. Here's where we use that tip of using the back of the stamp to make a shadow behind the message. And these are just 3 2-inch squares, and you'll notice there's that stamp again, and then there's a smaller one as well. Like, okay, so this and this kind of go together, and then this and this go together, and that flower right there is that. Cute, right? Same kind of deal here. This one is done in periwinkle, and then there's that little one done in the honey butter with the leaves, and then the inside of that stamp is just that right there, which could be a bunch of flowers, or it's actually the shading for these teeny flowers we're going to use today, and this is the shadow for it. And then there's a circle that you can use like as the inside of the flower, and there's a kind of an oval that you can use for the inside of that flower. So there's a lot of combinations, I guess, for this. Here's one, super simple, 1/4 inch strips going across, and this is just a little, gosh, I don't even know how big that is, 2.5 inch square with the flowers stamped around it, and that's this little tiny flower right here, and then this little flower right here. So this and this kind of go together, this and this go together, and this go together, those and those go together. So there's like a base and a shade, or you can just use them separate like that. This is one of my favorites, and this is one that I'm gonna kind of work off of today, where you know you have the bigger flower where you use all 3 sizes of flowers on the top and the bottom, and then the message is in the middle. I like that, and I like slim lines like that, and this would be a beautiful wedding card. Okay, and then this one is a little nuts, but it basically uses the bigger images to cover the outside edge, and isn't it beautiful? And so I just wanted to show you these. These are all in the new Close to My Heart colors, but I want to show you some of the other ideas that I had using this set with other colors, because these are, I gotta be honest, this combination of colors, not something I would pick out right from the start. We did these during convention using all the new colors, which was really exciting, and they look great. I wouldn't necessarily put those together though. So I'll show you like what I tend to do. Let me put those aside. So one of the first things I did was this card. I really thought, okay, summery, red, and this is shortbread and Sundance with our honey butter, and sage and evergreen. It ended up looking a little Christmassy, which makes me think I could totally make some of these look like Christmas. I really love adding the gold thread and the little image here, and then the message is there's another little hidden gem of messages in the catalog, where it says thinking of you, thank you, happy birthday, best wishes, with love. And they're a little flourishy, so they take up a little bit, they become a little bit more of your focal point. So I've been using these a little bit. They're called Flourished Greetings. So that's that. I really like this one. I feel like it needs a gold or black border. It needs a border. Okay. But what I'm most excited about is what I did was I looked up the spring, summer, fall, winter, because you know, I've said it millions of times already, I love these paper, I love these packs. And I looked at the colors that they used, and I created a card using those colors. So this one is like ballerina with flamingo, and this one is lemonade and honey butter. and then avocado are all the leaves, and then the blue in it is capri. So I used all of those spring colors to make a card very similar to the slimline, just smaller. And then I thought, well, I don't know what message I'm going to use that for yet. It could be anything. So I cut out a circle of capri, which means you could use it on the dark side or the light side. And I used my paper punches because I'm lazy with the die cut thing. I don't like to run for die cuts if I have paper punches that'll work because they're so fast. So I just thought that will make a really cool looking card. I could even cut it down just a smidge and put like a capri background or something on it. Anyway, so there's my spring one. Love that. Now summer, we have this one where it's honey butter, and actually the honey butter I just did twice. So if you don't own, like me, like a million colors, like 2 shades of yellow, you can do the honey butter in one stamp and then double it. So for example, for this flower, I'm gonna grab shortbread. It may not show up very well. Let me try a different color. Hold on. Okay, let's say you only own scarlet, which is a pretty dark color, and you want to use it on a stamp like this. You can stamp it off on your scratch paper and then stamp it, okay? And then you can use your shadow piece full. And so even if you only own one color of ink, my scratch paper has dust on it, that's why it's not stamping all perfect, but you can kind of see, that's just with one color of ink, so that looks great. And what I did on this one was I stamped it, so I stamped it, and then I went back with the shadow piece and I stamped it again. So the shadow of it was double dark, and you can't really tell because they're pretty easy to line up. I lined it up pretty well. All right, so you can imagine this whole set took me just a few minutes. It took me longer to figure out what colors these were than it did to make the card. And then here I just cut a piece of this bluebird paper, and you could use, again, the light side or the dark side. I kind of like the dark since it's summer, and put your message on there. So there's summer. I decided we're gonna do the fall one together, and I went ahead and did the winter one. So the winter one was a little trickier in which color to use for what. I just sort of looked at the colors I had in front of me, and I decided to use mist. That real pale color right there is mist stamped off like I just showed you. So it's the 2nd generation, and then this is the 1st generation of mist. And then the center I did in the scarlet. And then the blue that's in here, I went ahead and just used my Capri blue and my Glacier because I already had them out from the last set with toffee and pine and sage. I just think it's beautiful. And then I couldn't decide, okay, do I want a sage greeting? Do I want pine? Because that looks really neat. Or do I want scarlet? And what's really cool here is, you could cut out another little flower to put on there as like you know, to pop it up just a little bit. So I really love that there's lots of options here. I love how that turned out. I like the winter one. I think it's my favorite. So today I thought, okay, let's do the autumn together. So the colors that I have to work with is scarlet and paprika. See, I would have thought nectarine. I would have thought orange, but no. I went ahead and grabbed, well, nectarine is in this, but I went ahead and grabbed scarlet and paprika. I grabbed shortbread and Sundance, although Sundance is a little orangier than the honey butter. The honey butter is a better yellow for most projects, for me anyway. And then I grabbed toffee and mocha. So those are the colors I'm going to use today, and I thought, let's see how it turns out. So I have this. Let me grab a scratch paper. Just a sec. Just so I don't get stuff all over the place. And I like to stamp off a little bit. And I'm also going to go ahead and put my foam underneath because it really does help these more solid images, you know. So I am going to use, I'm going to start with my big flowers. This one with this shadow, this one and this shadow. So I'm going to use the lighter color, which is paprika. Let me move this down just a little. I want to make sure you can see in what I'm doing. All right. So when you ink these up the first time, it's important to look at them and make sure they're not like kind of bubbly on the top. And like right there, I got something on it, so I'm going to wipe that off. And it's kind of important that you get like good inking, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with this here. Hold on just a second. I keep getting distracted by things happening around me. Just a sec here. All right. So I'm going to start with that. This is paprika. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do it this way. And then I'm also going to do a little bit at the bottom like that. On the other cards, I went ahead and did a little at the top too. So it was like a line. All right, there's paprika, there's that first stamp. And I'm done with that. So let's do scarlet, and we're gonna do this stamp, which is the shadow stamp. And you want the shadow, it does have a line up on it, but I don't really, I haven't been working too hard to make it line up. But you can, when you have it in front of you, you can see, oh yeah, that goes like that. I mean, it's that obvious, okay? All right. Now, while I have, you know, I really do think I need some orange in here. This is fall. I'm going to grab my nectarine. I just want some orange. So before I do that, I'm going to grab these two flowers, this one and this one. This is the base and this is the shade. And I'm going to do it in shortbread and Sundance. So let's do the shortbread first. That will be the base. And we want this flower to be kind of up. And then off to the side. And then I did a little off to the side this way. And I did one down here. So again, following that kind of line, trying to anyway. Okay, now with Sundance, that's gonna add some fall look to it. Now this is the shade to this flower. It doesn't have to be perfect. You'll find that I rarely have it lined up perfect, because you can see, like, I don't have it, it doesn't have to be. It's gonna end up looking really cool just the way it is. So there you go. I really like how that looks. Look how cool. It's already very kind of fall looking. Now, the other flower that I really want to use are these little tiny ones. There's a clump of 2, and then there's a single. So let's do our clump of 2. And I think I'll do that one in nectarine, okay? So now you're just deciding where you want your clumps of flowers. Like that. And then I want to do the single flower also. These are also tiny. I mean, you almost, honestly, the biggest thing will fit on a 2-inch block. Almost all of them fit on a 1-inch block, which is so weird. I want to do a couple of single flowers just so I can show you. Oh, that was weird. I ended up putting it in a row. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Let me put one out there just so it doesn't look so lined up. All right. And then so now I have my orange. Now, if I wanted to, there is a shade right here for that little clump. And you know, I have not been shading these. Let me use paprika, but I can kind of show you how that looks on this card. So it just adds a little more color to it, and I probably would like maybe even double, like this. I stamped this in nectarine, maybe even just do it again in nectarine. See how that adds a little shade to it, but not quite so bold as the paprika. And this makes a cool center to these flowers too, if you wanted to add a center like that. So what color am I on? You know, I could add the center. I don't think I want orange as the center. I think I'll use Sundance as the center. Actually, I think I might go dark because I've got dark colors coming up. All right, so for my leaves, I have toffee and mocha, and the leaves are pretty cool. I'm just going to use the rounded leaf with the toffee. That definitely makes it look fallish, doesn't it? Look at that. Cool. Okay, the other thing I need is stems for my flowers. So there's tons of stems. There's one here for the little double flowers, one for the single flowers, and one for the half flowers. There's a lot of stems. So I'm gonna do my stems in toffee so that you can see it start to come together. See how I'm just building that? And then my little cute little double flowers. This is like so tiny. but it adds to it so much. You need the stems. I remember like doing stuff like this before these sets were so elaborate. I used to, you know, just draw in with a pen or a marker. All right, so now I'm going to add these single ones. I'm adding a single stem. Like that. It's looking very fallish. Oh, I'm so glad that you got your card. This COVID thing has been insane. I gotta tell you, I have been so careful to not catch COVID, and I have been wearing my mask pretty religiously everywhere. And I can tell you that my husband got it. We think, we're not sure, that we got it from a neighbor who came over and helped us with some flooring, because he and his wife got sick about a week before us, and we were like, anyway, my husband, now he has like a raging case of shingles. He has never had shingles before, and he got the vaccine for shingles, so it's weird that he got shingles, but he is miserable. And I guess when you have COVID, there's an increased risk for shingles. Go figure. Okay, now I love this card just the way it is. I feel like it needs a little, I don't know, something more. And so one of the things, I think I'm gonna put one more right here. It'll probably be covered up, but by my message. But the other thing this one has is that little dot. It's just a little dot. I know I put it on the biggest block. But what's nice is you can just put little dots around your card and fill in areas where you think, you know, you may have missed a spot. And the reason I didn't do anything in the center, of course, is because I'm going to put my message there. So there's my fall card. Oh my gosh, I love it. And, you know, I'll probably use mocha, but look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. So there's the fall right there. And in fall colors, it's the same card as, you know, the winter. It's the same card as the summer, and it's the same card as the spring. So I just did them over and over the exact same way, and I love all of them. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I have one more card that I want to make using this set, same set, and this time I'm going to make a slim line, and I want to use, I'm going to get my fall colors out of the way. I know this is crazy. Look at the colors I used. Isn't that nuts? You would not need to own every color, like I said. But if you do, look how beautiful. It's so cool. So this one, I am going to get my stamps ready. And sorry, I'm getting everything together. I'm switching gears. I want to do soft colors. I want to make a sympathy card. Someone I know, her husband died, and I want to send a sympathy card. And so I want to use these super soft colors, okay? Now technically, sage and Seabrook are just a shade off from each other, so you could use just sage or just Seabrook, right? I got them both. I had them both out. I thought, I'm gonna leave it out just in case. Oh, and the color that you can't see is Bluebell, which is the color of the year last year. And look how close it is to Periwinkle. Periwinkle and Bluebell are just, they're like a little bit of a shade. They could almost be exchanged if you did this one in second generation. But I thought, I have Bluebell. It's one of our favorite colors. Let's use it. Many of you have it. And then I have a new color, Mist, and I have Rosemary, which is a nice kind of a greenish gray. So these are soft blues, grays, and I want to make, I'm going to spread these out so I can see my colors. I am going to start with Periwinkle, which is a purple, and I'm going to use the biggest flower. And this is going to be one, kind of like the one where we go all around the edge. I just want you to see, you know, just how pretty this turns out. It's gorgeous when it's done. So I'm just kind of going around the edge. And remember that I'm going to have a sentiment, so some of it's going to be covered up. The majority of it needs to be, you know, near the edge. And you could even make some of your flowers upside down a little bit, especially at the bottom. Like sometimes I like this great big leaf to show, if I'm not going to have a center anyway, like right here. And you can see how nice that looks. Let me scoot that over. All right. Okay, Periwinkle, and done. Periwinkle's done. All right, now I want to do the shade color, and I'm going to do that in Bluebell. And again, this is something that you don't have to line up perfectly because it looks amazing even if you get it off. See, like that's really off. It still looks good. Who knows? Nobody looks at your cards that close and goes, why did she twist that so much? Or why is that not lined up so perfect? All right, this is great. And this last one is upside down. Ta-da. Okay, so just that alone, really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and put these back on my sheet so that I don't forget later. Okay, now I think I'm going to use Mist. Mist is one of the new colors, and you can see it's kind of a weird, like a blue, green, gray. It's a very interesting color, and I'm going to use the this stamp right here, and I'm just going to fill in around the edges. See how it's like a gray color? And I'm making it go off the sides, just like that. Okay. Now while I have Mist still out, I'm putting this back on. I am going to use the tinier one. I'm going to go back into Mist again, and I'm going to stamp over. And I am going to get a shade using the exact same color. So I don't have to have two colors of the Mist color to make it look great. So how are you feeling, Kelly? My daughter and I are on week 3 after COVID, and both of us, I am pretty much over it. I'm pretty much done. You can still tell I'm a little nasally. But for the most part, I'm done. My daughter is still hacking and coughing around the house, which is sad. She's kind of miserable still. Okay, I'm going to use rosemary. Rosemary I'm going to use for some of these leaves, okay? These leaves will fill in some space. I might try second generation, see how that looks. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm just filling in, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just filling in space. Okay, now it's time for leaves, and for leaves I'm going to use Seabrook, which is really light. It's kind of a real light pale green. It's very close to sage. I'm going to use the squiggly leaves. And I'm just gonna fill in space. Boy, I think I kind of like the sage better. Let me see. I'll do a few like this and a few like that. I'm going to grab sage and do a few. Yeah, I like the sage better. I like the sage because the green is more green. So you can tell I am just random stamping this stuff, right? Let me put my leaves back on my sheet. This is how I do not lose my pieces, is I try to put them back as soon as I can. I need some flower stems in here, and I think the color that I need is maybe sage. Let me try it. Like that. All right, and that is plenty. I mean, really, that is plenty. But I might put a few. I know, it's a lot. You're probably like, enough, Connie, enough. I'm gonna put just a few little flowers. And I'll use the Seabrook for those. All right, woo, that's busy. Now the other thing I could do is I could put some dots on here, but I want to kind of finish it off and show you what it looks like. We've been messing around with this for a while. So here is my card, right? Now, what I did was I took some of the flowers and I cut them out. Wendy, oh, you go back to work tomorrow. Okay, so my husband went back to work at the 5, you know, he was off for about 7 days, and then he went back to work. He is so tired. He comes home every night. He looks like he has been beat up. He is so tired. So I know he is not over it. And I can't help but think that the shingles kind of wiped him out too. I feel like I need a real soft something in the center of the flowers. I can't decide. I'm gonna think about that. Okay, So here is this. And then, okay, so what I did was I took a piece of rosemary, and you could use the light or the dark. I kind of like the dark. And then this is Seabrook glitter. So you can see it's a little darker than the color, but it's the same, it's a little darker shade, but it's the same color. And I want that little bit of sparkle around the edge. Can you see that? It just makes the whole card wow. Now with glitter, to make things stick to glitter, sometimes I use extra, sometimes I use foam tape, sometimes I'll even add liquid glue, just because sometimes this tape runner doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't want to stick to glitter. So if you're going to stick things to glitter as a whole sheet, just be prepared to use something pretty heavy duty. I'm so glad you're feeling better, Kelly. Because man. Okay, I have some periwinkle, and I have another little piece of the glitter paper, and then I cut this out for the message. Okay, so try to decide if I want the darker side. The darker side is the actual side of the paper, is the actual color, so that's actually periwinkle. But I kind of like the lighter shade, so I'm gonna put that on. Just like that. And I like the extra glitter, so I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna intentionally make it off center. And then the rosemary, I'm gonna use the light side. Now, I think Sorry for Your Loss is a good one for this, and I've not used that one. Do I want to use Bluebell or Periwinkle? I think I'll use Bluebell. Boy, that Bluebell color is a good one. I'm so sad that we don't have it anymore. It's like one of my all-time favorite colors. It's amazing. I usually sell all my retired colors because otherwise I would have 25 years of retired colors. It's a little much. But I can't sell Bluebell. There's a few of them. Gold Rush is another one I could never sell. I still have it. I still have Cranberry. I still have several that are like my favorites. All right. I want to put a flower or two on here. That. I am just adding some of the cut pieces that I made. This card, I agree, this card is gorgeous, and wait till you see what else I do to it. I can't believe I'm adding more to it. It's so pretty. I'm just gonna add a few, like, I don't necessarily like how this particular cluster looks, right? So I'm just gonna add a flower over it, like that. And I think I'm gonna add another flower down here at the bottom, just to add a little something, a little dimension. And then I have a few leaves to pop on there. Now you may or may not love it after I added all my leaves and things, but you got to admit that as busy as it is, it's still really pretty. It's so pretty. Okay, now I just want to show you another thing you can do. You know, I added glitter to the edge and I added that glitter strip. Now, one of the things that really looks cool is if you take glitter, oh, thank you, God. This is platinum, which is, I don't have, I have stickles that kind of look like Seabrook, but I'm not in the close to my heart line. So I just wanted to show you, you can take a little bit of stickles and add it like paint, okay? So I am not, that is not thick. I'm not adding a big thick line of stickles. I am just painting with my stickles just to add a real sheer amount of glitter, okay? Just like that. It adds just a little bit of glitter to the page. And sometimes I'll even add a little bit, like just to the edge of a leaf. Ta-da! I know, it's a lot. I added glitter onto glitter onto glitter, but look at how pretty that is. It catches the light. I hope you can really see how pretty that is. So this is a wonderful set for sympathy, for wedding. This would be an amazing wedding card, and especially if you know the bride's colors and you have that color of ink. The other thing you could do if you don't have all the colors of ink is like that technique I showed, you know, within the last 2 or 3 weeks, where you use a colored pencil and add a little shading, and you can, you know, add colored pencil to it. It's just so gorgeous, so gorgeous. So that is what I have today. Now, next week is my birthday week. And so I am a part of that birthday card swap. And I got all of my birthday cards in the mail. I am dying to show them all to you. They are not close to my heart. But there are so many cool ideas that I think next week for my birthday, I will show you my birthday cards, and that'll probably take almost the whole amount of time. And so if there's anything else you want to see, any techniques or anything that you have questions about, I might have time to add a little something on in addition to showing you the cards. Cool. My birthday is August 30th. It's like, I swear, the most common birthdays are all in the end of August. Like almost everybody I know has, if their birthday is in August, it's usually the last week of August. It's got to be, you know, that cold winter thing where everybody gets pregnant in January or something. December, I guess. Okay, anyway. See, September 4th. Yeah, see, my mother's was in early September also, and there's a lot of us Virgos out there. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed this. Let me know your feedback in the comments. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon. I'm glad you're feeling better, Kelly.